reason I cannot be an atheist, say there is no God, is because there are 6 miracles that every atheist believes in, but there's no miracle worker. First miracle.
I guess Cliff Knechtley got the message that creation needs a creator is bollocks, but he couldn't quite quit it, so he repackaged the bollocks, got himself some fancy wrapping paper, put on a bow and said, ta-da, ha-ha, atheists, you still need God. Hi, my name is Scarlett, and I'm an atheist and skeptic, and we're back looking at the opposite of TipTop of TikTok. What is the opposite of TipTop anyway? Base bottom? Nasty nadir? Ugly underside? Let me know in the comments what you like. Anyway, we're not here to play the antonym game. We are here to watch crappy TikToks that pretend to be deep and meaningful, and most important, lead us away from our heathen atheist ways and to a better understanding of why we're dumb to be atheists in the first place. I didn't take down any of these people's names, but that's not important really. It's their dumbass ideas that we're here to tackle. The first one we're talking about has a style that I particularly loathe. That is where one TikToker watches another TikToker with nods and solemn expressions, sort of, you see what I'm talking about here, even though you're not talking? No idea to check on the validity of what's being said. Why would you waste your precious time on that when the content confirms and affirms what that person wants to be true? At least this guy will have something to say at the end, but I think this kind of short video can go die in a fire. To be clear, there are some instances of reaction videos that are good and funny when people are doing stupid things and the facial expression is all you need, or ones where someone gives meaningful commentary, but this nod along to dumbassery, this is garbage no matter how softly you light your background. I mean, at minimum, you should do your own research by saying hi to an atheist. I swear we won't bite you the first time. So, what are we about to engage with? The 6 miracles we must believe in, even though there is no miracle worker. You know this is going to be some dumb shit by the framing. This is a whole genre of apologetics where a thing has to have a thinger. Miracles must have miracle workers because of course things that happen in nature must have a conscious agent deciding to do them, right? Oh look, sandstone must have a sandstoner. LOL, that sounds like a surfer who smokes pot at the beach. But a sandstoner because some thinking agent must have decided to force sand and composite to compress together and form rock. Well, enough blibbity blab. Let's see what our 6 miracles are that we must believe in if we are atheists.
Miracle worker. First miracle. Existence comes from non-existence. The Big Bang. Second.
All right, so existence from non-existence, Big Bang. In what way is this a miracle? What do you even mean by a miracle in this instance? To be clear, there's only so far we can go back to the origin of our current universe. Like there's a place we don't know what happened. But so far, it all looks like natural forces. Now, if by miracle you just mean, ooh, amazing, cool, but no miracle worker needed for that. Really, this is just the Kalam, but dumber.
Second miracle. Order comes from chaos. Third.
Order from chaos. Again, how is this a miracle? And I don't think Christians are actually looking at how the universe operates. I mean, from my vantage point, I see order forming through natural processes, and chaos can also disrupt that order. So think of hurricanes, tornadoes, earthquakes, landslides. That's on this earth, and there are comparable things happening in the universe. Galaxies colliding, and so on. It's like a natural dance of order and chaos. And of course, this is from a human perspective. I mean, we are putting our own interpretation on these events. The universe is just doing its thing. But as it goes along, making order and chaos, again, from our perspective, there's no need for an agent. The universe is just following the natural flow of how things operate under the laws that are just natural. No decider, no miracle worker needed.
Third miracle. Life comes from non-life. Fourth.
I guess this is origin of life. And again, no miracle. I think a better framing would be life came from prebiotic life, which formed from inert molecules. I mean, it's not as catchy as life from non-life, but it really is a better framing of it. And once the life formed, evolution took over and all kinds of stuff can happen. And so far, we don't detect an agent behind any of those processes, just natural processes is all we need.
Fourth miracle, the personal comes from the non-personal.
Now I think he's just saying words, something from its opposite. I don't even know how to parse this. It's like playing dumb Wordle or something. Ooh, I got one. Here's a miracle. Animals emerging from non-animals and plants from non-plants. I mean, this is silly.
Fifth miracle, reason comes from non-reason.
Again, not sure what this refers to, and it just sounds like we're saying words. Reason from non-reason. Is he talking about consciousness? Is he talking about logic? Which, to be clear, no agent is necessary. Reason and consciousness and all of our mental states evolved, and you can look at animals who have various mental activities that they do. We're not even the only self-aware being. And can we stop with the silly word games? Burgers came from non-burgers, and pizza from non-pizza. Non-pizza.
And sixthly, morality comes from matter. That's a miracle.
Well, at least it's not morality from non-morality. But seriously, morality is another trait that evolved like our reason and like our consciousness, and we can see that other animals have sets of rules that they follow, especially animals that live in groups. Just look at how chimpanzees and gorillas and elephants and dolphins all behave. Seriously, it's dumb to say morality just came from matter. It didn't. I mean, there's more to it. But I guess it's not as punchy and catchy as this. Yeah, that's one thing he's got in his favor. This is all punchy and catchy.
Atheists require you to have tremendous amount of faith, because when I look at the universe, I see order and design. For example,
So atheists don't have faith. That's silly. You know, you set up in your mind a bunch of silly things atheists believe, and then you announce that we need faith for them. Like, that's just the thing you set up in your head. I don't accept the dumbassery presented by Cliff that soft-like Christian gobbled down like he was at a shit someone pulled out their ass buffet. And I don't accept things because what else could it be? Evidence. That's what we use to decide what to accept. And you don't need faith once you have evidence. Once you have good evidence for believing the things you believe. And B, as much order and design as you see, soft-like Christian, there is plenty of chaos and terrible design out there. I mean, some of this is trite in atheist circles, but seriously, lots of people need glasses. And as you get older, you need different kinds of glasses. And then there is cancer and diabetes and strokes. People need to get knees and hips replaced with just normal use, not like get in a car accident or fall down the stairs and need a replacement, but just like the joints wear out. And this isn't even getting into some of the disgusting parasites that feed off other beings and cause pain and suffering. But maybe sin has ruined God's perfect design. But why would an all-powerful God allow his perfect design to be ruined by our dumb sin, or demons running around all over the place ruining things, or Satan stomping about the place? Well, maybe that's just because God has reasons that we just can't understand with our puny human brains. But then we're back again to how can this be some perfect design? Anyway, it's usually excuses all the way down, unfalsifiable claims built on shifting sand and goalposts. There's more we can say, but we'll stop there.
For example, if the earth was closer to the sun, life would not exist. And if the earth was slightly away from the sun, life would not exist because we would freeze to death.
Distance from the sun. I guess he's talking about the habitable zone or the Goldilocks zone, which is actually quite a range. Christians like to make it sound like if the earth were an inch here or there, life couldn't have come about. But you know, the planet had to possess certain characteristics for life as we know it to form and then evolve. It has to be in this range as far as we know, as far as the life that we are aware of. But why would a God need to be constrained by any of this? He's all-powerful, right? We shouldn't need to be any certain distance from the sun. God can make life happen anywhere, right? Right?
An atheist, knowing all this fact, will still argue that the universe come purely by chance.
When Christians say purely by chance, I think they really mean without the planning of a thinking agent. We don't know why our universe formed or how the singularity began expanding. Maybe there are natural forces at work. In any case, once our universe expanded, everything that formed followed natural laws. It's not pure chance in the sense that there is no reason. It is pure chance in the sense that no thinking agent guided these processes. Everything formed because of the way the universe works.
I don't have this kind of faith. The truth is, God created the universe, and this God revealed himself to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. May God bless you. Take care.
Translation: I don't see how these things can be natural because I can't be bothered to learn the science, and it's much easier to say God did it. Therefore, there must be a God behind it. Let's go on to the next TikTok.
Why I can never be an atheist. Scientists cannot define consciousness.
Scientists can't define consciousness? Why do scientists need to do that? Look it, here's a definition. Consciousness, the state of being awake and aware of one's surroundings, or the awareness or perception of something by a person, or the fact of awareness by the mind of itself and the world. Ta-da! Consciousness. Or do you really mean scientists aren't sure why we have consciousness? Right now, my understanding is that it is an emergent property of our brains, a sort of executive function. But really, you don't have to care about what, who, or why is consciousness to be an atheist. You don't have to give a shit about that at all. What else, solemn tone dude?
Scientists alone cannot define what a soul is.
They can't define it? What unique use of define are you using here? There are definitions for soul, but you know what hasn't happened? We haven't located a soul in anyone, anywhere, scientifically or otherwise. The soul is a religious idea that, like heaven, hell, and sin, don't seem to attach to anything real. I do dig this crazy-ass depiction of a soul as some light emanating from your bowels, like the bullshit this Muslim guy is spewing. Well, I guess the lungs and stomach are there too, but, you know, the bowels.
Scientists cannot answer where thoughts come from.
This is getting funnier. They can't answer that? Thoughts are processes of the brain, and we are actually getting better and better information these days on how the brain stores memory and how it operates in general. Like, go look up some neuroscience research. It's pretty cool, and you don't need a soul or God to know thoughts aren't separate from our minds. Thoughts are what our brain does.
An atheist doctrine tells me I was born without a purpose, just to eat, sleep, and die. But Islam, on the other hand, gives me a purpose and a mission.
Just what would be so bad about your purpose being just to be? My cats don't worry about this shit, and they seem to think life is groovy. But let's take it a step back. There is no atheist doctrine. Solemn tone Muslim dude just wants to do a little bizarro Islam world where atheism is the opposite of Islam. But atheism is just the lack of a belief in gods. And there are tons of secular ways of being out there. No matter what you believe, you do have to eat and sleep, and you will die someday. Facts. Know what I'm saying? But you can have a purpose or purposes and find meaning in all kinds of non-godly things. Without a God, you can still find a meaningful career, build a family, travel and see cool things. You can find fulfillment in art, music, literature, either creating it or reading, listening, looking at it, just participating in it. Or in crafts, knitting beautiful blankets or sewing interesting clothes or weaving neat baskets or whatever. Maybe you like sports, doing them or watching them, and then you share that with other people. You're on a team or you go to sports matches together with other people. And while other people can be assholes and jerks, they can also be great and help us find a life of meaning. But maybe your real concern is that being an atheist won't turn you into some weird supervillain looking creature like the image Salam Worldwide leaves us with. You would think an atheist would look badass like that, but nope. Only Allah can do that, I guess. Let's look at the last TikTok for today.
The main reason why I could never be an atheist. If there is a building, that is proof that there is a builder.
Oh, fuck me. Thing needs a thinger. Again. Why did I choose this?
And if there is a creation, that is proof that there is a creator.
Boom! Truth! Know what I mean? Come on, atheist. Ain't this clever? Never heard this one only a million gazillion times before. Look, an atheist. There must be an atheist maker. You know what's making me hardcore anti-theist right now? Skunky substrate TikTok.
We are so greatly designed, and this world is so creative. For there not to be a creator who is so greatly advanced, higher than we ever could imagine.
That is the end of her sentence, by the way. She's going to move on, even though it sounds like something else needs to happen here, like, that would be impossible, or that would defy common sense. Nope, gonna keep going. We've already talked in this video about the great design, and sure, there is a lot of great design, but notice all the bad design, and piss-poor design, and terrible, horrible design. And this great designer sounds like he took an edible and started drinking and sniffing glue and was like, fuck it, I'm on a deadline here, and Gabriel is writing my ass about how Iceland smells like sulfur. She also says the world is so creative. Like, what? The world isn't creative because that's what people do. Does she just mean there is a great variety of life? And because of that, she means that the creator was creative in creating the creation? But then there are some of these animals that look like the work of a freshman art student during finals week who drank too much Red Bull and couldn't decipher the actual final project directions. Then they passed out and had to run to class in their pajamas.
The Bible also makes the most sense because it doesn't just talk about the creation of humanity, but also the spiritual side of it all.
Aw, you sweet summer child. The Bible makes the most sense? Have you, read it? Not just done a Bible study on John 3:16 or some shit, but, read it. And sure, the Bible talks about humanity, but you'll find most literature does that. Like we're humans telling our dumbass human stories. And what spiritual side of it all? I mean, there's a lot of stuff like destruction of people on the earth that doesn't look all that spiritual to me. And creation? You mean a handful of imprecise verses that don't correspond to reality? Some great book you got there.
We as humans are able to feel, to have emotions, which shows that we aren't just physical beings, but there is something within us that is spiritual.
Where do you think emotions and feelings come from? Do you think they are separate from our body? I do think a lot of Christians think that emotions come from the soul. But in actuality, what we know is they come from the brain. And researchers have located specialized neuronal populations with the amygdala playing a key role in our emotions. There's nothing spiritual about emotions or feelings. No God needed. No soul needed, just our body with our little brain. And you'll see that animals have emotions too, where they might not have the same ones as we have, but they have different brains, so they have emotions that correspond. I do think this artwork is cool that she shows, though. I really like that, although I'm not sure what it has to do with what she's talking about, but it's cool.
Just because we can't see God doesn't mean that he isn't real. I mean, we can't physically see love, but we know that it exists.
Checkmate, I guess. I can't see love. LOL, this old chestnut. And she's delivering it like she's thought up some deep idea that no one else has ever said. Love is one of those emotions we were just talking about. It is a label for a feeling. Of course, we can't see it. We feel it. Seeing is not the only way to know something is real. Please, Christians, get a new refrain.
We can't see the winds, but we feel it. And without the winds, the earth would be total chaos. But that's a video for another day.
Don't know what that tangent about chaos is, but I can't wait to hear that take someday. But yeah, we can feel the wind. We don't have to see it. And we can measure it, and we can observe its effects. Again, Christians, please get a different refrain.
For another day. It's crazy how something we can't see could be so powerful, but it's also a reflection of the God who created it.
What? How is non sequitur bullshit a way to establish anything? This is the end of the TikTok, by the way. This is the way she chooses to end it. I guess the point is we can't see God, but we can feel him, and without him, all would be chaos? Sounds legit. So there we go. Reasons not to be an atheist by a few TikTokers, all based on bad understandings of science. It is incredible to me that these ideas just keep getting passed around in religious spheres and people nod along solemnly like they've just heard the most awesome wisdom, and they don't go checking on what the science actually says or what atheists actually believe and why. Science is an easy go-to though, because A, we don't know everything, and B, some of the science is really detailed and takes a long time to learn, so it's easy to slip God in there somewhere. God must be responsible for this little area that we haven't discovered yet. But really, the science shouldn't matter if you have an all-powerful God. That God can do anything, anyway. That God can invent the laws of physics and defy them. What that God can't seem to do is actually make itself known to atheists in a way we can accept. It can only appear through processes that don't need him to take place at all. I guess he does work in mysterious ways. Well, that's as much of TikTok as I can take today. What struck you? You can put it in the comments below, and while you're down there, if you haven't already, like, subscribe, and do all the YouTube stuff. Pour out your YouTube libations to Algorithmo, the all-knowing, the great, who will grant you lovely recommendations in recompense. And if you like what I do, you can buy me a coffee. That link is also in the description below, and I will see you next time for something special and interesting, and don't know what it'll be, but it will probably be stupid too. See you then.